The West doesn't have a particularly good press in the recent years. It is generally depicted as a warmongering, manipulating the global media coverage.
On the Pulwama terror attack is an example of how Western media misleads readers.
Capitalist monster inflicting poverty by increasing the income inequality, and depression through social media and hustle culture. I am not to argue here whether I find the West deserving of this image or not. Instead, today I would like to take you on a nostalgic journey of the West. The West I remember being my first love. And you never forget that. I was born in Poland in the early 90s. Though it was already a politically independent country in that time, it was still in the middle of the struggle to get out of its communist past, where the goods were scarce and there was little sense of style. In short, Poland back then didn't look as pretty as it does now. What really looked and sounded pretty was the West. I remember Polish TV back in the 90s being flooded with the Western cinema. Especially the national holidays would be the time to tune in and watch the Hollywood classics. Imagine a 4-year-old Polish girl playing in her room and suddenly hearing this music coming from another.
It's singing.
Yes, I realize it's singing, but who is singing?
The children.
The children?
I taught them something to sing for the Baroness.
I had the same reaction as Captain Von Trapp in this scene. Except, for me, the singing of the children meant the alluring sound of the West.
Every song that is, my heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that rise from the lake to the trees, my heart wants to sigh.
I was enchanted, and there was no going back for me after that. Especially since the Polish TV kept on perpetuating this beautiful image almost every single day. The West was as pretty as Vivien Leigh, Audrey Hepburn, Leslie Caron, or Claudia Cardinale. As liberated as its spirited women, such as Bette Davis, Marlene Dietrich, Liza Minnelli, or Sigourney Weaver. The West was as handsome as Clark Gable, Gérard Philippe, Alain Delon, Marcello Mastroianni, as brave as Sean Connery, Sidney Poitier, or Clint Eastwood, and as smart as Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, or Margaret Thatcher. I grew up having the Western historical figures as my role models, such as Anne Boleyn, or Queen Elizabeth I? Listening to Nat King Cole?
Love is ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seem to cool in the warmth of the sun.
Barbara Streisand?
Takes me in his arms, the world is bright, alright.
Or The Platters?
And you alone can thrill me like you do.
Being Entertained by Billy Crystal. Or Whoopi Goldberg.
Some of you may know me as the Virgin Queen, but I can't imagine who.
And believing that the hard-working people get rich in the end.
Hit Shift S for your schedule.
I grew up constantly being reminded, whether by the school or parents, that the pressure from the Good West brought the end to the bleak, scary Cold War times. Thanks to the West, I could enjoy my youth that my parents were robbed of by the communist regime. Undeniably, the West can be accused of doing many awful things that deserve a separate video for a proper discussion. However, I would want you to understand through this video why it may be so difficult for an Eastern European girl to completely bash it. For it would mean bashing the nostalgic past of one's own childhood memories. Oof, this last scene from Nuovo Cinema Paradiso, it always gets me. How about you? Let me know down in the comment section. Also, do you agree with the statement that Polish people are in love with the West? Or maybe it's just me? Or maybe this sentiment has changed over the last few years. As I said in the beginning of this video, the West doesn't have the best press in the recent years. And I think that Polish people also start to catch on this anti-Western, anti-capitalist sentiment. So let me know down in the comment section what your opinion about that is. Also, is your country anti-Western or pro-Western? What the reasons for that might be. I'd be very interested in knowing that. And if you felt nostalgic through this journey, please hit that like and subscribe button. It gives me a nice push to make more of this type of content. That's all for today, and see you in the next video, guys. Bye!